Sales have really been picking up in my eBay shop. Let's see everything that sold yesterday, April 4th, 2025, and find out exactly how much money we made. Okay, we're back and we're ready to pack. I decided to pull all of the orders that are going out today ahead of time. These videos have been getting a little too long when there's 7 to 10 orders. So in an effort to shorten things a little bit, I pulled everything from the inventory and I have it all ready to ship. So we're just going to get straight to the shipping. I've already got my eBay app open. I'm looking at my orders. Let's make sure there's nothing else coming in. I would like to get another order or two come in while we're packing, but we'll see what happens. Okay, let's get started right away. Okay, this is called a swing trainer by Swing Rail. I can't really comprehend how it works. It's some sort of a strap that attaches to your baseball bat and then attaches to your upper arm here, and then helps you improve your batting. I got this, when did I get this? I bought this on November 11th, 2024. So today is April 5th. All of these sales were from yesterday. So just because I bought it on 11/11 doesn't necessarily mean I listed it right away. I have that listing date in the spreadsheet, but usually I'm just going to look at the date that I bought it. So this one was listed on 11/29. So let's say December through March through April. It's just the beginning of April. So 6 months or so this has been listed in my shop. I bought it for $2.19 at a Unique thrift store, and I sold it for $19.99 plus shipping. I have some sales running today, or this month rather, and it seemed to have increased my sales. You know, I've got these sales events going, so I have anything that's older than a month is 10% off. Anything that's older than 2 months is 15% off, and anything that's older than 3 months is 20% off. And that seems to have kickstarted something. I think there were 12 sales yesterday, or the day before yesterday. Excuse me. And then 7 today. So that's pretty good, especially recently sales have been more like 1 or 2 a day. I'm not sure why that's been the case, but most of March was pretty slow like that. So if we can get 5 to 7 sales every day in April, we'll be sitting pretty. A couple of the orders I packed yesterday were actually today's sales. So we really had more like 10, maybe 10 sales yesterday and 10 the day before, something like that. So I like these little boxes. They're easy. They're easy to store. They're easy to put together. They surprisingly fit quite a lot of different items. I wonder if there's anything else today that will go in one of these. No. Okay, marker. Swing rail. This is... move this computer out of the way. Here's my scale here. It blends in with the black, this black rubber top on this bench, so sometimes I can't see it. This is only 9 ounces. And this box is 10 by 7 by 3. And this will go to a buyer with the initials WC. Let's just put that out of the way. Okay, next up, I sold another one of these Marlboro Coleman cooler, little you know, drink dispenser jugs. These are from the 90s from Marlboro Miles program. I bought 15 of these at the Salvation Army, maybe in October, I think in October. And they have not, I haven't sold a single one until yesterday I sold one, and then today I sold one, which seems like too much of a coincidence to be a coincidence. So I don't know if, like, I've heard people commenting about listings with multiple items in them. So in this case, I have one listing that has 15 items in it. And I've heard people say once one of those items gets some attention, then eBay will start promoting that listing a little bit more. So it's possible that just because of that one sale, then eBay decided this was a good candidate to get a little extra boost, and that means more sales of that item. I mean, that's not unreasonable. That doesn't seem like too hard to believe, but I don't have any evidence of that. But whatever gets things selling, that's great. So I have this whole tub down here filled with those Coleman coolers, and then I had two that wouldn't fit in there, so they've been on the bottom shelf here, and I want to be able to use this shelf for something else. So I'm glad these two have sold, and I have a little bit of space to put something else under there on that shelf now. Okay. So this thing's a little too big for any of the boxes I have, so I'm using two of these 8x8x8 boxes, and I'm going to just make a cap here to go on top of it. This is just about exactly the right height. I mean, this thing can't really get damaged in shipping. Yeah, I bought all these. I've been under the impression that this Marlboro branded stuff, this would have been a giveaway from the Marlboro Miles program where you collect points off of your cigarette packs in the, I don't know if that was in the 80s and 90s or just in the 90s. And a lot of that promotional stuff is still kind of sought after. So I always pick up any of this Marlboro stuff if I see it. And in this case, I was at the Salvation Army. They had probably between 30 and 50 of these. I'm not sure where there must have been a, I'm going to guess that there's some sort of a distribution center near here that was cleaning out some kind of a warehouse. And they decided to donate these to the Salvation Army. That's my guess, because where would they be getting? I mean, when I was there was at least 30, probably 50. Who knows how many were purchased before I even got there. Anyway, they were about $3. I think that day was like, I know there was some sort of a discount that day. Maybe it was the color of the sticker, or maybe it was like buy a certain amount, gets a certain amount free. In any event, I bought 15 of them, and I considered buying them all, but they were $3.74 a piece after tax and everything. So I thought they would sell for about $20. That's not a super good turnaround on that. $4 into $20, especially for something that's going to take up a lot of space. So I bought 15 of them, and that was in October for sure. So these have been sitting for quite a while. I thought they would sell much faster. Most of this Marlboro stuff goes pretty well. Okay, I'm gonna write Marlboro. I'm just gonna write Marl, and this is gonna be okay. I'm gonna go ahead with this new practice of just writing 2 pounds. This is 1 pound 11 ounces. I'm just gonna write 2 pounds, and then from now on, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to up it by a full to the next full pound, and it should be the same cost as if I had said 1 pound 11 ounces. So hopefully that will save me a little time in this process. I think it's gonna still be a little, I still have to put a 0 in. I still have to put 2 pounds 0 ounces when I type it into the eBay label purchasing tool. RD is the buyer. So that part won't go a little faster, I don't think, but writing these numbers down should go a little quicker, hopefully. Okay, here's another G.I. Joe. I have a whole bunch of these that came from my mother-in-law. There's a whole convoluted story about how she got them, but I'm not going to tell you that whole thing. But she must have given me, they're the original vintage ones, and almost all of them were complete with all of their accessories and everything. This is a guy named Budo. They came with, most of them had the cards from the back of the package, and then backpacks, swords, guns, you know, all the stuff that G.I. Joe guys came with. So some of them were quite valuable, some of them less so. Some of them have been very slow sellers. So I've had this one since February of 2023, so more than 2 years. That's when she gave them to me, February, 2 years ago. And I think I still have quite a few of them left. She might have given me over 100, maybe even 200. I never really did an accounting of them. So this one, she gave it to me for free. I sold it for $26 today. So that's a pretty good, deal for me. I'm happy for that. I usually take 2 pieces of cardboard and cut it to the size of the box for these guys. And then I put their little ID card in between these to keep it safe during shipping. I feel like in a lot of cases it's the card like this and the accessories that make the item valuable. Well, I cut this a little too short, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with it. So maybe this guy loose could be worth $6 or $7, and I mean, I'm just making that up, but maybe. And then with his accessories and his stuff, makes him worth $26. This came in on an offer, so I also, he would have been on sale, so I probably had him listed for $34 or something like that, and then it was probably on a 20% off sale, and then somebody gave me an offer a little bit less than that. And since I didn't pay anything for him, and I've had him for over 2 years, it's time to start taking these discounts and getting them cleared out. I have a couple of boxes in my inventory system that I'm trying to get rid of. I'm trying to move them out to make room on that shelf for something else, but I'm just waiting until everything in it sells. And one of them has a bunch of just G.I. Joe figures in it. So I'm just waiting for all of those to sell, and then I'll clear that box out of my inventory system and use the shelf for other things. That's good. I used to always get this size box from the eBay store when I get my quarterly coupon to spend there. They give you, if you have an eBay store subscription, they give you a certain amount of money to spend there each quarter. All right, Budo on here. It's going to be 5 ounces. 6 by 5 by 5, I know that. I probably don't have to write that on here since I know it. MPS. So I used to get those boxes from the eBay store, and you know, that coupon is better than nothing, but their prices in that shop are about twice as much as a standard shipping supply company. So if they give you $50 to spend in the shop, you're actually probably getting about $23 or $24 worth of goods, but it's free, so just take it and take it, take it and be happy with it. But I used to get those boxes. Then I started getting these boxes from Zorro. Most of the boxes I get from Zorro are good quality, but there's something weird about these where when you fold it, the flaps don't line up. perfectly, and it's a little bit irritating, but they still work just fine. But I just got a new coupon from eBay, so I might go ahead and buy some more of those small boxes. I do have, last time I bought these 12 by 12 by 12 boxes, and they're good to have. I like them, and they get used pretty often, but it looks like I have a pretty good supply of them right now. Okay, this next item is a vintage, it's like accessories for a Singer sewing machine. Touch and Sew 750 golden touch and sew 750 from Singer. This is, I don't know, this is probably from the 40s or 50s, maybe the 60s. I've had this one for a long time too. I think I got this. There's like a church thrift store it's not really conveniently located for me, but I've gone there a few times when I'm in that area for some reason. And they do a thing where basically they switch out the inventory completely every season. So when they're getting ready for spring, they will put, they'll start discounting everything that's in the store that's all winter. Like winter clothes, basically anything that's in the store. And then they'll close once they, it'll be like 10% off one weekend, and then the next week is 25% off, and then they'll go all the way down to 90% off, which is wild. And I happened to be in the neighborhood, and I stopped in that store, and they said, everything's 90% off today, and so I just went hog wild buying everything I could get my hands on. I bought a typewriter there and got it for like $2 or something. This came from there. This was all the way back in January of 2024. So I don't know what season they would have been going into then, preparing for. They wouldn't be preparing for spring then. I don't know what they were doing. Anyway, everything was 90% off. And so I got this there for only 63 cents, 62 cents. And I've had it for a long time, January 2024, this is April now, so it's like a year and a couple of months. But putting that, it's not even that big of a discount, a 20% discount I'm doing on older items. Seems to be working. Hopefully it keeps going like this. So this has been listed for over a year, so it would have been 20% off. It's sold for $33.99. And I only bought it for 62 cents, so that's pretty good. I've been questioning my pricing strategy. Like I typically look at, the first thing I look at is how many, if I'm researching how much something is worth on eBay, first thing I look at is the number of current listings of a similar or same item. Then I'll look at the historical sales for the last 3 months. And I want those numbers to be, I don't want those numbers to be too far apart from each other. So if there were 1,000 of these listed and only 3 sold in the last 3 months, I would not even consider buying that, because that's a supply and demand issue. This box is 9 by 9 by 9. Okay, remember what they told me. This is 2.5 ounces, so I'm just going to put 3 pounds. And this is, I've gotten into the habit of putting those numbers, so now I'm stuck on it. Oh, this is going to be an eBay International order, so that's good. SG. So anyway, I'll usually look at that first. That most eBay people call it the sell-through rate. I just think of it as supply and demand. Then I'm looking at pricing. If it's something that I've decided I want to buy it, let's say there's there's 5 listed and 5 sold in the last 3 months. That's a pretty close sell-through rate. If it was 5 listed and 50 sold in the last 3 months, then you have to buy that. That's a good deal. Even if you're only going to make a couple of dollars on it, it's going to sell so fast that it'll be worth it. So once I determine that the supply and demand issue, I'll start looking at pricing, and I usually sort sold listings by highest first. This might be too tall for this box. Oh no, it'd be fine. So I'll sort by highest first. That usually gives me an idea of what kind of title I want to write for my listing. You know, I'll see, like, this is the one that was the most successful. They sold it for the highest price. They had something good going on, probably the title. So I sort by highest first, and then usually that's the price I want to get. You know, if I know somebody sold this stack of magazines, this exact same thing for $100, I want to get $100. But then you have to compare what's currently listed. So if one person sold, if all those items are sold were $100, but then I look at what's currently listed and they're all listed for $30, I can't ask for $100. I'll never get that. So what I typically do is I look at what is currently listed, and then I want my price to be right in the middle of what's currently listed. I don't want to be the cheapest one, and I don't want to be the highest one. So if there are 6 listed, I'll go down and look at the third one, and I'll make my price similar to that price. But my sales have been slow for the last few months, and I was thinking maybe I should be putting my prices closer to the bottom of the current listings and be the first one that somebody buys, which I don't want to start a race to the bottom, which is something that happened years ago. I felt like that happened, not on eBay. This is back when eBay still had auctions only, and they bought a company called half.com, which was similar to eBay, but there was no auctions. It was all just buy it now pricing. And back in that time period, I was selling primarily books and records. And it was very easy to see, like, somebody listed this book for $5. The next person listed it for $4.95. The next person listed it for $4.90. The next person listed it for $4.50. And you could just see the values of these items just plummeting based on just people marking things lower than the person before them. So I don't want to start doing that. It seems like that doesn't really happen that much on eBay. I think most sellers are trying to keep the value of items up. So I don't want to start selling everything lower than the lowest current listing. Anyway, there's something I'm thinking about, whether I want to just start choosing my pricing to be a little bit less than in the middle. Okay, this is needlework magazines. This is a lot of 18 needlework magazines that I got from that house clean out, that legal ransack that was in February 9th. That was not too long ago. Seems like a long time ago. Anyway, I got a bunch of different magazines there. This was probably the biggest stack. There's 18 here, and they're not all of the same title, but they're all in the same theme. Okay, how much is this weigh? Magazines are very heavy, so the shipping is expensive. This is 13 by 11 by, the numbers on the box, 13 by 11 by 5. And this is going to CS in San Francisco. So I hope CS starts doing some cool needlework. All right, move this over here. Okay, next up, we only have 2 more. This is a crate and barrel plate. I always look at the store if I see plates that have these higher rims. I don't know if I don't know why people like them. They seem like this is going to be hard to clean, but they do well. I had some ones that were called, they were like Bauhaus. I don't know if they were made by the Bauhaus, designed by somebody from the real, the real design collective in Germany. That was, when was that, 1920s? But I had some that had high rims and they sold very well. That was one of the first big sales that I had since I started taking my eBay shop seriously. Okay, how am I going to do this? This isn't that expensive that I want to put this in a complicated package. I only sold it for $20. This plate. So I don't want to spend all day packing it, double wall packing it, and typically if it's something that's fragile like a ceramic plate, I would go hog wild on it, but I don't want to do that with this. So this box will be fine. Anyway, I always look for ones with these high rims. They're not all good. You might turn it over and it's Walmart brand or something. And some brands that I would have passed up in the past, IKEA, I never would have even looked at. Crate and Barrel, I wouldn't have looked at. It turns out I was missing a lot of opportunities. Some of that Crate and Barrel stuff, some of that IKEA stuff, Pier 1 Imports, maybe even like World Market. Some of that's kind of standard brands. Some of that stuff sells very, very well. Like, one plate might be $30. And if you can get a stack of them for $1 a piece, maybe you get 10 plates at the Goodwill for $1 or $2, and you're selling them for $30 a piece. That's $300 right there. And my theory is that a lot of people shop in those stores. It's a Crate and Barrel at IKEA. And most people, it seems like the very common plain white ones are the ones that people are searching for. So my theory is many people shop at Crate and Barrel. They buy these plates. They buy these plain standard white plates when they get a new apartment or a new home or they get married or whatever. All of those kind of companies are changing their stock all the time. So they might be producing this line of plates for 2 years only, where some company like Lennox might be producing that plate for 15, 20, 100 years, something like, some of these British companies that have been around forever. They might still be making the exact same plate that they made in the 1890s or something. Anyway, these they only make them for a short time and then they change to a different pattern. They're trying to keep up with trends and whatnot. But then you drop this plate, you got this plate for your anniversary, for your wedding gift, whatever. You drop it and you need to replace it. Where are you going to go? You have to go to eBay because they don't make that for Crate and Barrel anymore. So that's my theory about why this kind of dishware is valuable or, sellable. Whether you think $20 for a plate is valuable or not, that's up to you. I don't like selling fragile items that are worth less than $50 because it's just a lot of extra packing and a lot of extra time to get them ready to ship properly. So anyway, if you're outsourcing and you've been seeing a lot of IKEA plates, like I was, and just passing them up, not even taking the time to look at them, you might want to rethink that, because some of those IKEA plates, especially the ones when IKEA was first getting a foothold here in the U.S., they put the names of the person who designed their items on the bottom. So there's someone, I forget her name, Susan something, at IKEA. If you see these plates that say IKEA 365 plus and they have the name Susan on the bottom, they're worth looking at to see if they're valuable or not. They might not all be, but at least take the time to check them out. Okay. At IKEA, I mean at Crate and Barrel, there's a guy named Aaron Probin. And his name is on a lot of stuff. Let's see, how tall did I make that box? I'm thinking about double walling this. I will do it. But I'm gonna have to make these a little shorter to fit in here. Let's get a ruler out. That's gonna be fine. Let's not take too much time on this. So I bought some different colored plates, different color IKEA and different color Crate and Barrel plates, and they haven't sold quite as well. So I think it is the plain white ones that are highly sought after, or most sought after anyway. I'm just doubling the wall up here to add a little extra protection to this plate. I mean, it's only one plate and it only sold for $22, and I paid, averaged out, I paid $3.90 for it. So this isn't an enormous sale, but at the same time, I bought a big stack of these plates. So I have two, in the other room, I have two sets of them, either 3 or 4. So when those sales come, it'll be $80 or $90. And that's definitely worth spending the time to pack it properly for $90. 22, I'm not sure. So this box is a little bigger than it needs to be. I probably could have shortened it this way, but that takes a little too much time. So if this package ends up being a few cents more expensive because I didn't make it smaller, then it'll be okay. I'll take that loss to not spend another 20 minutes making this box. Okay, I'm gonna quickly cover that label. I got these, I mean, I've talked about this before, but I got these labels by accident. I got them for free, but they're too small to print shipping labels on. So I'm just using them currently as cover-ups, Band-Aids. If there's anything that I need to cover on a box, I'll use one of these. I have 2 rolls of those. They'll probably last for quite a while. Okay, Crate and Barrel plate, C+B. And it weighs 4 pounds. I guess with this system, I don't even have to wait for the scale to finish calculating. 16 by 13 by 6. I've seen some people contemplating just always putting lower weights. Like somebody said, what happens if you just always put 4 ounces on every box that you ship out? Sure, they're going to catch some of them, but they're not going to catch all of them. And the worst case scenario is that you have to pay more. You know, they'll send you a bill after the fact. I'm not going to start doing that, but it is interesting to think about, like, especially with the trouble the post office is having. They might not have the resources to be checking every single box right now as they're cutting funding and laying off people. Okay. All right, this is the last of these small, tiny drum heads. These are for like little marching tenor toms. These are only 6 inches. And so you probably know the story. I got them from a drum and bugle company that was cleaning out their storage unit and just giving away all the old drum heads that they never got around to using. I'm assuming they got them donated, because why would they have? I mean, I took hundreds and hundreds of drum heads, and they still had many, many more after that. So why would they have, I mean, probably 2,000 drum heads, brand new, unless somebody donated them. So that's my assumption. That's my guess why they were okay with just giving them away and not trying to sell them. But they definitely could have sold them. I would have paid them. I mean, I did give them money as a donation, but I would have bought these drum heads for sure from them. Yeah, honestly, if they had charged me for them, I might have bought even more, because I start to feel a little bit self-conscious about just taking stuff for free. If somebody's giving it away, it makes me feel like a little bad. And so sometimes I offer people money even if they are trying to give things away for free. I just got some at this small thrift store that I go to. I'm pretty friendly with some of the employees there, so I don't want them to think poorly of me. And they had a box there that just said free stuff in it, and there were some books in there I wanted to take, and so I didn't want them to think of me as the person who just comes in and takes the free stuff. So I was buying something else. Actually, I paid up for something that I wouldn't have bought otherwise, but I didn't want to just walk out of there with the free books. So I bought some DVDs for $10 that I probably would not have paid more than, I don't know, 4 or 5. I'm putting DH for drum heads. This is 7 ounces. So anything that's under a pound, I'm going to continue to count the ounces, because the break points on the pricing is a little bit more precise when you're talking about under a pound. This is going to, I bet it's going to Florida. Let's find out. Oh no, just going to Illinois, not even that far away. LW, Gibson City. Okay, that's all the 7 orders that I have right now. Let's quickly look at the notifications and make sure that we don't have anything else. It doesn't look like it. Okay, I was hoping something would come in, but it didn't. So anyway, I'm going to cut the video right now. I don't want to make you watch me putting in all this data into eBay anymore. So I'm going to cut the video now. If you prefer to see that, let me know and I'll continue to do it. But right now I'm going to pause. I'm going to buy all the labels, get them on all the boxes, and then I'll come back with a price breakdown on how much I paid for everything, or how much I earned on everything. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. That took about less than 10 minutes, probably 6 minutes to get all those labels entered into eBay and printed and stuck on these boxes. This one's heavy. So I'm going to stack these up as neatly as I can and run over to the post office. The post office is open until 2:30. It's 12:30 right now. I could wait a little longer just in case any other orders come in, but anything that comes in after this is going to have to wait until Monday. So there we go. It's a little bit of a stack there. We'll go through the spreadsheet really quickly, and I'll tell you exactly how much money we made on each of those items. Okay, the baseball swinging trainer we made $16.12 on. The Marlboro cooler, $11.88. The G.I. Joe figure, $24.58. The Singer sewing machine accessories, $28.50. A lot of vintage magazines. The needlework ones, $29.16. Crate and Barrel dinner plate, $14.21. And then the drum heads, $16.83. So the other things that I shipped out yesterday was a Nike golf hat for $17.30. A jacket, camouflage Kappa brand jacket that I earned $33.10 on, and some police officer lapel pins that I got $13.12. So those are all the sales from yesterday, and that all adds up to $204.80 That gives us, we're only 4 days into the month so far, so this could change at any time. But right now we're earning $135.58 on average per day, and the average per sale price is $23.58. So that's it for today. I'm sure I'll be packing some stuff up Sunday night, so tomorrow night, to get ready for Monday. So join me for that, and thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.